This is your weekend market review for Saturday, August 3rd, 2024. Let's go. Hey everyone, this is my channel to help investors and traders develop a probability-based mindset to succeed. Also try and keep friends informed of what's going on in the markets and the economy, and also a little real estate content as well. This is Dan Max at eXp Realty, aka The Trade Agent. This is your weekend market review for Saturday, August 3rd, 2024. Let's go. Congratulations, y'all. If you've been following the channel, you've been absolutely hitting home runs, grand slams, getting your batting average up, just knocking the cover off the ball. I mean, it's been really good. So if you've been actually executing the trades, like we talked about, paying attention to the levels, managing your positions, you probably still have some cash, which is okay, because there might be times next week going into the hedge, because we're going to talk about the levels, and there's also opportunities later to add into trades. Now, again, as we've talked about, it's a probability-based game. We talked about the economy is slowing. We talked about that if the Fed start talking about 50 basis point rate cuts, I've been saying this for what feels like months, then you better be prepared to see the market get absolutely slammed at some point. Because if they're doing emergency meetings, emergency rate cuts, that is bearish. But it will lead to headlines that get the markets to rally near term. And again, as I've said over and over, when the VIX rises, a higher VIX means big moves either way, not just up, not just down, but both ways. So please be careful. So if you're new to the channel, again, please watch this whole video. It'll be very beneficial from start to finish about the levels, what to think, the insights, and how to actually handle a market like this. Because again, I've been doing this for a long time. I personally love volatile markets because again, the moves are quick, the moves are powerful. You can make your year in a day or a week, a month. And so again, I love it, not scared of it. I appreciate it. So if you're new to the channel, check out the Discord room, link description below. Again, posting trades, thoughts, economic activity, what's going on, all on the Twitter. Again, worth the follow. If you need to chat, I've said this over and over and over and over and over again. Take 30 minutes. Let's have a Zoom. If you need to show me something, you can show your screen. If you want questions about real estate, you're looking to buy, sell, or invest, I'm telling you the interest rates are moving. We've talked about this. That's been one of the best damn trades we've had. You're going to want to take advantage of such. Again, the more money you make, the more you should be buying assets and getting into passive income. This is what we talked about. This is the whole purpose of the trade. Turn profits into properties and passive income. That is the goal, whether you realize it or not. Even if you're doing what Buffett does, the covered call king, again, he's bringing in passive income. He owns companies. He's building a base of passive income. Because again, if your goal is just to trade to be a billionaire, good luck. Again, because you want to be paid when the markets are open no matter what. You want to get paid every day, every minute. That's the key, is figuring out how to pull in passive income endlessly. And again, it's stuff we can talk about. If you need help, the education series, there's 52 videos. If you want to do any specific topics, holler at me. I will gladly make a video, potentially. Maybe even our Zoom call, I'll record it and post it. Maybe it'd be beneficial to everyone. So we know the Fed meeting, right? The next Fed meeting is not till September 18th. We're at one rate cut. If we get to, I'm telling you, just that's not going to be good. I'm telling you so much. Like I've said this in warning, like the economy's falling off a cliff fast. See it every day in real estate, commercial real estate. See it within the business activity. It's coming. It's just a matter of what they're going to do and how they're going to react. And again, we will keep you up to date as best we can going through it, because that's what this channel does. We're, again, constantly staying on top of it. Hopefully, again, hit the like button. Do me a favor, subscribe if you haven't. And also to let me know how I can better support you in this channel. Because again, it's all about family. It's all about community here, trying to help each other out. Bitcoin, I warned recently that do not trust any asset. We talked about the baby gets thrown out of the bath. I've said that probably 1 million times in this last year. You have to be aware when this happens, when the market starts to get throttled, there's nothing safe. All assets get sold, even the strongest one, because again, there's margin calls, and so the winners get sold too. There's nothing safe. Not surprised. As we talked about, Bitcoin is in a big choppy range. If it takes out the range lows, I mean, who knows where the next low is? I mean, maybe it is somewhere back in this 40,000 range. That's what I'd be watching, somewhere in 47 to 41. Again, it could chop around. I personally don't not have a position. I'm waiting on a lot of the commodities, a lot of the liquidity names. Not tech. Hell no. I do not want tech. Oil, as we talked about, I think it has a higher floor due to geopolitical concerns and having to fill the SPR. Just let it play out. We talked about natural gas. A lot of folks were like getting excited about a bounce, and I'm like, yawn. I will not be playing anything long commodity-wise until there is a blowout. And good luck. Congratulations if you made your little trade here. It's just, again, I think we just go sideways. Personally, I have no potentially desire to play it. Dollar, look at this gap down. Again, we've talked about it. It's been chopping around. Again, if the last leg of this up move will be probably a big drop in the dollar. I mean, it's looking like the dollar is peaking. Doesn't necessarily mean the dollar has to collapse because, again, there's other currencies doing just as bad, if not worse. A lot worse, let's be honest. Japan, China, Europe, Latin American countries, no good. TLT. We talked about this. If you bought last week, said this felt like a trap. And a trap is a fake breakout where you pull back and then boom. I call it bending the knee. Before you jump, you have to bend your knees. Have you ever tried to jump with your knees locked? You have no ability to get any push off of the ground when your knees are locked. You have to bend your knees. After the bottom, we've been consolidating. It faked like it was going, backed up. We talked about buying it up here to here. I mean, because you knew it was going to be not like an absolute ball buster. I believe that. Started positions in UBT. We said, hey, watch out. These gaps. And now this is what shows you the market has, again, going to get a little scary here. Run the math here. Do not be surprised. Again, 98, pretty quick. That range. Because again, let's start extrapolating out further because that's a longer term trend line there. I'd also be looking at like this 108 area. And again, if you bought the TLT in the 90s, you're not feeling so bad. If you bought it down here in the upper 80s, not too bad either. You good? You good? Any questions? Again, the volume is starting to pick up. See the levels. Be cognizant of such. Trade around your positions and just know what the hell you are doing. The VIX, talked about it, holding up. It's a long wick. I get that. Hit 30. Cool. I mean, I have no doubt in my mind that, yeah, the VIX it's going to probably stay now up in the 18s plus. It's going to stay in this upper bound. That's my guess. And do not be surprised. Again, this is COVID. Do not be surprised by a big VIX spike up into the 40s, potentially 50s. And if there really is going to be a true capitulation, you want to see something over 70 or 80. Like that's the jam. Does that make sense? See where it is? Crash is underway. We never got into a crash. We're down 10% off the highs. That's not a crash. 10% is just a correction. Now, if we consolidate for a little bit, that wouldn't be surprising either. Just again, manage your positions. Let your winners run. Pull your losers out. VIX, we talked about how it was waking up. Again, there's signs. Lots of signs, but everyone ignored them. SPYs, we talked about the levels last week. We said going into this Fed meeting, it was probably going to be some sort of games. We said, watch the 20-day, go read the post. Look at that. Then you had the bull trap, kapow. Now we're at the 100-day. Okay. I mean, I personally have zero problems with some bounce, some chop, nothing. I do not mind it at all. Again, I'm just updating the drawing as we go. I have no problem with it at all because, again, I've talked about this. Down moves, up moves, whatever moves you. You don't want straight line moves because that's the end of the move. You like the do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do, right? Think about the up move. Do-do-do-do, pulls back, do-do-do-do-do-do, right? Then you get some gaps, and it's usually more volatile at the bottoms, right? Like, that's the shit. Like, here's the end. Zzz, pow. Here you go. Chop, chop, chop. Zzz, pow. Oversold. Zzz, pow. Oversold. Zzz, pow. So now you go look at where we're at in the charts. This would be a great place for some consolidation. Where to? I don't know. Maybe the 50-day. Maybe again, let's add these wicks in. I mean, 540. I mean, you do a math on that. You do a 3 to 5% bounce. I mean, probably like 2 to 3. Nothing wrong with that. Just short. And again, if you want to go long, you want to hedge some positions, go right ahead. That's why you have cash. QQQ, same thing. Getting a little oversold. Comes down pretty quickly. Probably going to be down to this 200-day at some point. You broke the primary trend. Maybe it backtests it. Maybe it actually traps in and over it. Good question. But either way, manage your positions. The IWM, as we talked about, was a gift from the gods, trading gods. We said, look for the bull trap last week. We got it. Look at the freaking Fed day. There it is. Now, again, if you exit, it was hard to execute. No one's going to say like it was perfect. And again, this is where if you layered in. You may have only got so much of what your trade is, and it's okay. It's better to win than be losing right now. That's for sure. Any win is like a triple win because everyone's getting bonkered and destroyed. Congratulations again. We'll show you more in the KRE. DIA high, DIA low. We talked about this one. A lower high, 50-day. Okay. Gold. Love gold long term. I've said this over and over. Just if you have physical, don't worry about it. If you're trading it, do not be surprised if it gets pounded at some point. That's all I can say. Now, if it ends up rising, that's fine. I just can't hit every trade all the time, but it's hard with silver lagging. As we talked about, miners will lag because they're part of the market. When the market gets sold, they throw it out. Look at this action. Like gold rallying and miners have zero follow through up. They're actually making lower highs and lower lows as gold is back near the highs. It tells you everything you need to know. GDX, it makes this theory, if you understand this, even more obvious. As we've talked about, miners get sold during the first big whoosh down until the Feds pivot. Even when the Feds pivot, it doesn't guarantee the market's going to rally because, again, it's a 6 to 9 month delay of action and how it affects the ultimate economy. And so will we get bigger pullbacks in my mind? Yeah, at some point. At some point, but it's not going to be straight line moving. That's the thing. I don't want to play the GDX until they wipe these things out. AEM, again, have no problem with these names. Just let them come in. This is another why I said stay away from AG. I know people were buying it. Oops. Sorry. I feel bad, but I don't know what to say. Warned you, 7,385 times. Newmont getting up here. Again, I like Newmont long term. I've said this again. I'm waiting for a pullback. Some of these names, if they don't pull back, fine. I know there'll be like these moves. There's like 10x moves coming in these. Let them play out, potentially. Let them play out. Let them pull back, whatever they got to do. Again, you have to think about it. Your money can only be used in the best possible places. Will you make mistakes? Yes. But don't you want a best reward, risk reward? Yes. And that's where I think shorting tech, financials, long bonds makes sense. Miners, metals, commodities will be volatile, but they're not going to be easy. Because then when the market rallies, then those things will get sold. Like gold will get sold next week if the market rallies back. Like the risk on name will get... Does that make sense? Taiwan Sem, we talked about these being dead cat bounces. Adios. Micron. Said it better hold the 100s. Oops. Do you see what's going to happen here? At some point, all these moves are going to give it all back. And here again, blowout moves. Straight line moves at the end. Very scary. Now, just again, trade around your positions. Be careful. AMD, again, I keep people getting to like, you don't understand. Chip sector's supposed to grow next year. No shit. They priced in unlimited growth. Like the market priced in the stupidest amount of potential in the chips. And guess what? Something I haven't seen in 20 years. And it didn't end well last time either. And it's the same thing when they priced that in with housing stocks and oil stocks. And we've seen it with 3D printing stocks. Seen it with every sector that got the endless hype that they can only grow forever. Well, they priced in that multiple. And then after that, they got absolutely burned. Semis, same kind of thing. If you listen, that's what I'm saying. I've been saying, like, NVIDIA to me is the greatest and easiest short of your lifetime. No one else is saying that. Why? Because they're scared. I've seen this before. Not surprised it's chopping around here, but any bounce, I mean, you can short this. Please. I mean, again, I've said this on record. Like, if they're not going to be able to, they're trying to make a go-around to sell chips to China. Good luck with that. Why would we allow them to sell chips to China if we're going to be going to World War III or have this Cold War never-endingly? Like, why would we be sending technology to our enemies? I'm pretty sure no matter which side of the aisle, they're going to be very careful about that. SMCI, we said broke. I mean, you got earnings, set the alarm here. Didn't actually do anything. Got to reset it. Again, just be careful. They have earnings. You never know. And this is what we talk about, never know. Intel, you think that 30 level's safe. Oops. Going into earnings. It's the easiest trade ever. Oops. Ouch. I don't even know what to say other than I hope you hedged. If you didn't, you lost 25% on Friday. Sorry. SMH, talked about this being a double top, pulling back. Know your levels, 200-day, maybe 209. Again, just remember, you don't want endless straight down. You want down and then some chop, down and then some chop. So don't be surprised if we chop to start the month, because usually middle of August is when it gets sloppy. Beginning of August can typically be bullish, potentially. Adobe, same kind of thing, was waiting for a bounce, 50-day, chopping around. Apple has earnings, and you find out after the close on Friday, Buffett unloaded half of his position last quarter. I have zero doubt he's unloading more. Once he starts selling, he sells it all. Why would he own a piece of it? He sees better days ahead in something else. What a gift. Earnings weren't great. Pops the 20-day. If you grabbed it, you grabbed it. Congrats. Amazon, We talked about Bezos could not sell fast enough at 200. I wonder why. Well, here we go, below the 200-day. I mean, the near term, you have to expect some sort of choppiness. That's okay. Again, that's the thing, right? Expect it. Maybe even rallies 10 points. I don't know. Just, I would be careful. Again, remember, high VIX means big moves either way. Meta pops on its earnings. Gives it right back. Again, you better hold 460. CRM, this one's been chopping around and hit some recent levels. Bearish. GOOG, been holding up pretty damn well. Now it's chopping at the 100-day. I mean, if it consolidates here and then it breaks, I mean, you could get down to the 200-day. Rapido. Microsoft, all over the place on earnings. We warned, hey, be careful. There's your doji, your left-right combo. Boom. 200-day. Near term, could be oversold. NDAQ, a lot of people said, oh, you're saying this is the best short for long. I'm like, yeah. Then you got the high volume at the high. You have the blow off top. Look at this. Look at this. High volume at the highs. Distributive, endless market maker unloading. Just keep an eye on it. If you want to short it, pick and choose your levels. MicroStrategy, we talked about this is a fake breakout potentially. Said if we did not follow through the very next day, be careful. And there it comes back. Netflix, same kind of thing, bounces around on Thursday. It's like, nothing looks really good, y'all. Roblox. This is why I've been saying, people are like, why don't you go some long? No, I don't want to get caught in a freaking shitstorm. I'd rather just wait and then I can buy. I let things come to me. Roblox, chopping around. PanW, again, this is the name I've said I'd like long term, but I will not chase it. Oh, but Dan, you could have bought it here. And then I could give it back in like 3 days, a week. Why don't I just wait for panic? There's always panic at some point. The world is never perfect. Tesla, some kind of big trading, like channeling, like blah, blah, blah. Like choppy, blah, blah, blah. Gaps down, pops. Everybody's like, oh, it's going to the moon. Talked about this candle being uglier than fudge. I don't know why I didn't say, oh, I know why, because I didn't save it. Like, look at this high volume at the highs after a big move. High volume at the lows after a big down move. Do you see what the point is here? It's distributive. Insight had earnings. I don't even know what they did. I don't care. Watching for the pullbacks. Again, put this in your portfolio, stuff it, hold on to it. McDonald's, thought it would get stuck at the 100-day. It didn't. Okay. I'd be careful, though, because this feels like a very squeeze action. I don't know if I would trust it. DKNG has earnings. Oops, we told you this thing was cooked. Again, who's going to be sports betting when the economy is flushing out? It broke the primary trend. It's just now it's in a new downtrend. Be careful near term. It could be in a bounce spot at a VAP zone. But again, manage your positions. Airbnb has earnings this week. I don't think they're going to be good. Good luck. Be careful. I don't know what to tell you going in earnings. Just be careful. I'm just looking at like, good luck. Costco, this one's been holding up. This to me seems like an obvious short. You see that 20-50 day, you do it. Starbucks, this thing's been pounded all over the place. Look at that gap up on earnings, gives it right back. You take out 72, you got a 50 handle. FedEx, we talked about the head and shoulders top. Fail. Caterpillar, talked about this popping. Look at the top. Look at this bull trap. Watch the 200-day. Just be careful. Again, don't short. This is what the hardest thing is, like letting longs come to you. Same thing with shorts. Let them come to you on bounces. Nucor, 150 breaks. You're filling that gap at 140 real quick. There's another gap at 134. Some gaps down here in the 108. Again, love it. Let it come to you. X. There's just nothing much to say here on these names. Again, I love commodities long term. I'll just let them come back. VALE, the global growth name, just pounding the lows. Does it get to a 9 handle? Arrow, probably, right? Talked about copper. We like junior copper. This is a name when things are ready, I'm buying. Like, this is a name that I would gladly stuff in my portfolio with Insight, some of these other commodity names, smaller mid-cap, ag names. Yeah. I just noticed. I'm like, man, I think there's a trend line there. You break it, it's not. It's gone. CCJ got a lot of flack. Talking about the Goldman Sachs upgrade at highs, how I hate that. And they're like, Goldman Sachs is the best brokerage. I'm like, you don't know how brokerages work. I have a history. I have background in the industry. When big brokerages upgrade at the highs, they're usually selling their stock to their clients, especially the ones they don't have a fiduciary responsibility to. And look what they did. Now they'll downgrade it at the lows and they will buy back your stock. potentially if you didn't set stops or you're panicking, or their clients. CF again, choppy, choppy, choppy. Mosaic has earnings this week. Choppy, choppy, choppy. I mean, again, these names feel really ripe, but I don't want to be early because, again, I think there's better trades. NTR, same kind of thing. I mean, these are so ripe. Aaron, we talked about we love aluminum. Oh, Dan, chase it. Nope. We said we thought we'd get some bounce around 200. You got a little like baby bounce. Man, I hope I see this thing with a teen handle. XLF got a lot of flack. Oh, you're an idiot. You don't know what you're talking about. Financials are fine. Look at the KRE. It's great. Everything's great. Everything's great. And I'm like, okay. Watch for the retest we said last week. Said anything over 20 day, you're getting back to the highs. Started building more FAS in the like 8 to 9 range, low 9s. What did it close at? 997. Not bad. 10%. Pretty quick. JP Morgan. Told you. Why would I buy the stock if they're not even buying back their own stock? Oops. Go Morgan Stanley. Talked about, I mean, again, it's all the same stuff here. Big gaps. Those are pro gaps. Potentially big gaps off the highs. This one, again, we talk about Bank of America being just kind of absolutely just melting as the market was holding up. Goldman Sachs, again, if you got a markets account, I think you're safe, but this looks like a pro gap. End of the move. 50-day has to hold clearly. And if it chops around it, it gives you ample opportunity to layer into shorts, potentially put on some big long-term shorts. As it chops around, the volatility comes in. It would be an absolute gift to short. Carry, same kind of thing. We talked about watching for the IWM. Oh, but Dan, it's over the no doubt fail zone. And I begged people who kept saying, please watch the video on bull and bear traps. Please watch the video on bull and bear traps. Please watch that video. Oh, no. Fail. XBIs, we talked about, just chopping up at the highs. Not gonna hold. We talked about the housing index. Like, what was that? What was this move up to 120? Are you gift? No, housing is not in a good place. Now, again, with rates coming down, people might pile into refinancing and buying some houses near term, but doesn't mean that there's not enough buyers to the sellers, in my opinion. Solar, talked about this is all just trash. Any bounces, shorts, sedge, coming back to levels. I mean, again, it's the capitulation zone. I don't know. ENPH, I have no doubt that at some point it will break this 95 level. If market breaks for solar, I've said don't be surprised. It's a $100 stock. At some point, it's not going to go there in a straight line. Said this last week, and I said it probably every day that it was above this range, like above this area. Like, you got to be high out of your mind to be buying corporate debt. Oil and gas, again, we love oil and gas long term, but no, we will not be buying it now. Let it play out. UNG, again, I hate this product. Absolutely fucking hate it. The play is to short the KLD. We talked about 80s were a gift. There you go. If you started on Friday, I mean, again, I think long-term you will be fine, but it's not something I want to be early into. That's all I'm going to say. It's something, again, because I think this ETF will get absolutely pounded. Look at the last time. We talked about shorting it. 80 down to 30s. Gift from the trading gods. XOP talked about if we couldn't hold 142 area, you are cooked. That gap down says all you need to see, meaning it is game over. Well, it has to drop every day. No, it just means we're probably making new lows and the downtrend is confirmed. It just doesn't mean every day will be a down day. CVE, again, we talked about this in the 20s. We like this long term, but you have to let it pull back. And there it is. ExxonMobil, again, can't break out. Holding it pretty well, but it's not going to break out in a market that's got downward tendencies. Valero, talk about these gas names rallying. Look at that, giving it all back. This is the problem with volatility. If you don't manage your positions, you don't get to make money. If you didn't cover some shorts on these up moves and then you didn't trade around them, you're just like right back to where you were. This is how you leverage a freaking trend. Again, hit me up if you have questions. Occidental, talked about this is a big ass trading range. You don't want to own it. Maybe it breaks the below it. That would be the gift. That's why I have an alarm below it. EQT saying that have, like, again, break these low end of ranges. Set me off. Show me a 20 handle. Absolutely. This makes sense. Last but not least, Flex LNG. Again, I'm not buying stuff. I'm not going long anything until I feel like the market is capitulated or I see prices that make 0 sense and people are panicking and I'm playing the long-term game. And if I have to, I'll buy the stock or I'll just sell puts. And then I'll sell puts, wait it chop around, let the volatility come in, then I'll buy long-term calls. It's such an easy trade. All right, sorry for the long video, but again, we had talked about this. I appreciate everybody. Again, next week is a light week of earnings and data. We've been through the heaviest part. The jobs number showed you all you needed to know. If you have any questions, do not hesitate to reach out. I appreciate all the love, support, the generous donations. Slap the like button, subscribe. I appreciate you guys, and share with all your friends. It means a lot. Peace.